Now, sometimes it seems that the cam grinders go out of their way to make it difficult to identify their cams. And this is a situation I just ran across yesterday. Before I get into that, I want to give you guys a quick update on Josh and his satellite. So after a couple of nights of screwing around with this thing, and he has very limited time because he's got a regular job, he's got a family, he's got a little kid, so he doesn't have a lot of time to devote to this. But he finally liberated the torque flight. Pulled this thing out last night, and oh, he was happy. So it was a lot of work. He battled through it. And he's decided to make a few changes to the car before it goes back together again. Like, for instance, the headers are done. He has no interest in putting this thing back together again with headers. So it's got a set of exhaust manifolds that are going to go on it. These China Mart valve covers are going to go. I gave him these. These are period error correct big block covers, so he'll paint those orange, and those will go on there. And that's it. But I'll tell you, Josh is a real trooper. Never once did he at first he was a little intimidated by the job, but going through all of the odds and ends here, he never got discouraged. The smile never left his face. It took him some time, and had a bunch of comments. A bunch of you guys are, I could have done that job in 18 minutes with a mouthful of hot dogs. And you know what? Good for you. This is the kid's first attempt at doing anything like this. It was a monster of a job, and he muscled through it. So the next step is he'll be back here, I guess Sunday, I think, and he's going to come back, clean up the trans. We're going to stick this thing on the bench and tear it down. So that's the update with that. But let's get back to the cam thing. So like I was saying, sometimes it's like the cam manufacturers go out of their way to make it difficult to determine what grind you've got. And I just came across this situation yesterday, and I said, this is a perfect video to do. So here's what happened to me yesterday. I'm at the house, I'm going through the shelves, and I come across this old Direct Connection purple shaft cam. It's for a small block, but I have no idea what it is. I don't remember how it got there or where it came from or anything like that. It's a bare cam, it's got no box, it's got no cam card. It's got a little fuzzy rust on it, but nothing I can't clean up with some Scotch-Brite. So I may be able to use this thing. We have to determine what it is. So here's my problem with this. Back in the day, for whatever reason, Chrysler decided not to stamp the grind number into the end of these purple shaft cams. Instead, they used colored paint splotches. So I attempted to find the color paint splotch chart online. It doesn't exist. And if I ever had this information in my head, it's been gone for decades. So I have no choice now but to measure the cam and see if I can determine what it is that way. Now, in the old days, identifying a mystery camshaft was difficult because what you had to do was actually put the cam in an engine and plot all of its events to determine what it was. But today, with the internet, we have the entire universe of information right at our fingertips, and we can find listings, we can find catalog listings for all of these different camshafts. And then if we can just determine one or two simple dimensions off the cam, we can generally cross-reference that number with catalog listings and determine what cam we have. And that's what I've done here. And I'll walk you through all of the steps that I took. Now, what I'm going to go off of is advertised intake lift. It's the simplest number to determine. You could go with exhaust also, but I go with intake. And in the odd, rare event that you have two grinds that have the same intake lift, then you could also do the exhaust. But for the time being, or for these purposes, we're just going to go off of the advertised intake lift, and we're going to take a measurement off it. Now, for you guys who have been around the block, measuring intake lift is old hat, but to newer guys, this is important information to have. And as far as I know, it's not found anyplace else, so that's why we're doing this video. So let's go back to numbers. Obviously, you've got a cam and you want to know what it is, so we're going to look for numbers on the cam first before we go any further. And sometimes you run across situations like this cam, where it has numbers stamped into the back of it, but they're so faint you can't make out what they are. And then sometimes you'll get just, the number will be there, but you'll have an obscure digit. You've got situations like this one, which isn't really that bad. I've had worse, where you've got numbers stamped over numbers, and then you've got etchings and so on and so forth. This one isn't as bad as I've come across, but they can be confusing, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. So that's where you find, on the end of the cam is where you're going to find the grind number of the cam. But now a lot of guys who don't know any better, they're trying to determine what cam this is, they're going to go off of numbers that you find on the actual shaft itself. So here we've got a number here, there's a number here, there's a couple of them spread across the shaft here. Now those numbers, what you need to know about that is that those numbers are from the foundry. Those numbers have to do with the casting and the blanks. They have nothing to do with the grind numbers. So any number that you find along here is not going to correspond to the actual grind or the specifications of the cam. The foundry will cast, let's say, 1,000 blanks, and then the grinders will buy the blanks, put their grind into it, and then when they're done, they'll stamp it into the end of the cam. So that's what you need to know about the numbers and where to find them and what they generally mean. So what we're doing here is we're going to go with advertised intake lift and then cross-reference it. There are two ways that you can determine advertised intake lift. I'll show you both of them. One of them, the most common and the simplest, doesn't work in 100% of the cases. The most common way to do this is to take a caliper, right? So going off of a lobe, you take a caliper and you measure from the nose to the base circle, like this. Okay? Then you turn the cam so that the nose is facing away and measure across the narrowest part, which would be like a continuation of the base circle before the actual ramps start. Now this works most of the time. If you take that number, if you take the small number, subtract it from the large number, you'll end up with a 3-digit fractional, so it'll come out to like 0.300, 0.315, whatever it happens to be. And that's your lobe lift. Now to find the advertised lift, you need to know the stock rocker ratio of the engine that you're dealing with. In our case, it's 1.5. The Chrysler small block is 1.5. Now, if you've changed your rocker ratio, don't take that into account, because we're going by the manufacturer's or the cam grinder's specification. That specification is going to be based on the stock rocker ratio for your engine. So keep that in mind. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take our numbers, we're going to subtract the small number from the large number, we've got our fractional, and then we're going to multiply that by the rocker ratio. So in our case, the rocker ratio is 1.5. Let's just say the number here was 300, just talking round numbers. So 0.300 times 1.5 is 0.450. So we would know then that the intake lift on our cam, on our grind, it's a 450 thousandths lift cam. All right. Why doesn't that work all the time? Because not all cams are ground the same way. And here's the perfect example of that. So on this cam that we just used, you see that the base circle comes all the way around to about the midpoint of the stick itself. On this cam, the base circle is narrow and the lobe begins before we get to the halfway point of the cam. So it's thinner here than it is here. If we attempt to make those same measurements on this particular cam, we're not going to get the right answer. It's going to be off. So that's why, if you're going to do this as a general practice, what you want to do is you want to chuck the cam up in an engine. There are other ways you can go about this, but putting it in an engine and putting it into the block is the simplest, easiest way to go about it. So what you want to do is you want to stick the cam in the motor, identify one of the intake lobes, drop a lifter in there, and then you want to center a dial indicator on the center of the lifter. Now a dial indicator, if you've gotten to this point that you're starting to screw around with camshafts and everything else, a dial indicator is like a must-have. And you don't have to go nuts and buy the craziest thing out there. 30 or 40 bucks will get you one that'll do the job. We're not splitting atoms here. We're just trying to find basic measurements. So we've got our cam set so that that intake lobe is on the base circle, the lifter is in it, the dial indicator is zeroed out on the center of the lifter, and now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the cam, and we're going to watch the indicator. So, okay, there's 100, 200, 300. Okay, so looks like we got 319. Didn't zero. Let me do that one more time. That's 100, 200, 300, 18. I'm going to just double check that one more time. It was zeroed out good right there. 100, 200, 300, 17. So it's between 317 and 318 thousandths. Let's call it 317. So now we take a calculator and we go 0.317 times the rocker ratio, 1.5, and our answer is 475 thousandths. Okay, now here's the easy part. We know that it's a direct connection cam, so we went online and we found a catalog of old direct connection camshafts. So here we go, small block cams, and we have the first one we're seeing here on the list is 450 thousandths, and we know that that's definitely too small. We got one that's 474, that's right on the money, and then we've got 484. So we know that this cam is going to be this grind. It's 280 degree duration, hydraulic cam, part 4452992. And here's all of our other specs. There's your exhaust lift and your duration, advertised duration at 50, the LSA, all of the information we need to know is right there. Now, that'll work for anything. Let's just say you're working with a comp cam or a Cam Dynamics or Lunati. All of those manufacturers have their camshaft catalog online. So all you really need to do is determine what that advertised intake lift is, cross-reference it, and you know what shaft you've got. That was simple. Now there are a couple of other ways you can kind of ballpark it, but what I showed you right there are really the only two accurate ways to get if you're measuring to go through a catalog. If you're just trying to get a rough idea of what you're dealing with, and let's say the engine is together, you can set a dial indicator up on the top of your rocker exactly at the center where the push rod is and rotate the motor through. On a hydraulic motor, you're going to give up a couple of thousandths, a few thousandths to crush, to the cushion effect of the hydraulic lifter. If you're going to do it with a solid lifter, you can get fairly decent results. You'll come close. You can also, if the engine is intact and together, and this is the least accurate way, but let's just say you've got an engine, you're just trying to get an idea of what cam it is, and you can be off by 10 or 20 thousandths of an inch because you're not trying to cross-reference it. What you can do is lay a straight edge across all of the valve spring retainers, and then take your lifters or rotate the motor so that you've got maximum lift, and just measure the height difference between the valve that's open all the way and the other ones that are sitting, level, the ones that are closed. You can measure that, and that'll give you an idea. That'll get you close, but it's not good enough to actually go hunting through catalogs to try to determine what the grind is. So it's simple, it's universal. This applies to like everything across the board. You just need to take your time, and like I said, a little detective work, it goes a long way. And it's so much easier today that we have the internet. In the old days, like I said, at that point you've got to really go through all of the motions to determine every single aspect of this cam before you know exactly what it is. All right, I hope you got something out of that. I got a freebie cam. I'll see you tomorrow.